Was the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche left-wing or right-wing? The only correct answer is he was anti-Christian. And yes, certain selections of his writings can appeal to either left-wing people today or to right-wing people today. But Nietzsche's concept of the Overman, or in German Übermensch, did not really imply a sort of right-wing Superman at all. It rather implied, through a process of overturning all values, a complete deconstruction of the Christian worldview. In his book, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, or in German, Also sprach Zarathustra, Nietzsche imagined himself to be a reincarnation of the prophet of Zoroaster. And Zoroaster was the one who prophesied that there is such a thing as good and evil, which later became the foundation for all Christian morality. Basically, Christianity took this part of Zoroastrianism and said, yes, there is good and evil, and so Christian morality developed further. Nietzsche hated that. He hated it so much, he wrote the other book, Beyond Good and Evil, suggesting also he wanted to move beyond Christianity's idea of right versus wrong, of morality at all, überhaupt. And as the reincarnation of Zoroaster, in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche then starts to prophesize an alternative. He said, I was wrong. I was wrong. I, in the sense of I am now Zoroaster, and I'm coming back to tell you I was wrong to make the distinction between good and evil. And that, of course, became the foundation for what we now suffer as the woke doctrine, postmodernism, and so on. Indeed, the Nietzschean dogma succeeded in deconstructing the Western Christian worldview. We are now living with the consequences where white men in the USA barely can get jobs anymore, especially the ones that they are qualified for, such as being helicopter pilots or airline pilots. Now we are working with DEI hires based on the fact that they are not men and not white. We hire everybody, but we have to lower the standards, of course, to get more people in. I do believe some women can be excellent helicopter pilots, but there will be a smaller ratio of women available to be helicopter pilots than, say, men. Men are more competent at certain spatial tasks, such as flying planes and so on, right? And what about white men? Are white men more competent than people from other races? Does it really matter? We have our own countries where we are the majority, then we should be able to get the jobs, right? The standards aren't there to prevent brown women from getting jobs. The standards are there to prevent accidents. But of course, the Nietzschean overturning of all values has allowed us to do away with competency requirements, leading now to a competency crisis, right? Nietzsche indeed wanted people to have a new sense of soul and a whole new way of looking at the world, right? And I think it is mostly negative. So the legacy of Friedrich Nietzsche, in my view, was absolutely evil and destructive. And the real right-wingers among us, right, who still feel some kind of affinity for Nietzsche because he speaks so lyrically about the Overman or the Übermensch, and he has themes that we feel drawn into. We need to dismiss this Nietzsche guy. Nietzsche was in effect, right? So if we look at Nietzsche's legacy, the outcome is he became the foundation of wokeness, really. Nietzsche was the prophet of wokeness, and we need to dismiss him as such so that we can bring back the idea that there is good and evil, there is right and wrong, that Christianity was the right idea. Namely, you can't tell a boy that he can become a girl. And if you are an adult person telling boys they can be girls, then you are evil and you are wrong.